Can money buy championships? We'll take a look. Danny, in the good old days, if you were an owner of a sports team, you could buy your way into the Premier League, the first division, the first place. That's not possible anymore with some of these salary caps. Is it fair to make a level playing field in so many sports?
Question of fairness, Matthew. It's a question what they call parity. You don't want certain teams. I use the example of Manchester City or Manchester United, who have so much money that they can always buy the best players. If you have a league with 15 teams, for example, you don't want always the same teams on top, because the other teams at the bottom of the ladder will not be able to compete. The games will be ridiculous. They'll always be at the bottom.
But you're describing what is professional soccer, professional football in Europe. Money matters, doesn't it?
Money matters, that's right.
So you're saying you're not in favor of having salary caps, as in the National Football League, probably the most successful league franchise in the world. Every team can spend the same amount of money, about $130 million bucks.
That's right. Therefore, the games on Saturday, Sunday, or Monday night are highly competitive. You don't know whether the team who's at the bottom of the standings can beat the team at the top, whereas if Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester City, and Manchester United play, you know they're going to be the top year after year.
They'll be close. They'll be close.
Leicester won last year.
Leicester City is an incredible story, but take you said Manchester City. They don't win every year.
No, but they're certainly near the top, and they get into the Champions League. They're not losing money. That's what I'm saying. And people in the United States like to see competitive sports, and they like to know that on a given Sunday, any team can beat any other team.
They like that. They like it in basketball. They like it in football. They don't like it in baseball. They don't like it in golf. Not that golf is particularly a money sport, although you could argue that just to get into the golf world takes a lot of funds. But how about in the America's Cup, sailing, popular, well, I mean, it's one of the biggest heavy capital sports there is. And under that rule, the America's Cup is won by the richest guy.
That's correct. And that's usually what happens. It costs a fortune, and people say, I'm going to do this for publicity. Matthew, I think it depends on the sport. Some sports are more expensive than others, but obviously people like competition. And whereas you like to see quality and merit, you do like to see a tight game, and not just because the best players are bought. But I think last year's example of Leicester City is an interesting one. They're not doing well this year, by the way.
No, it's too soon to say, but it's an oligopoly of sorts. Isn't the reason for salary caps has nothing to do with your beloved parity and we want it for the fans? It's nice. It's a nice sentiment, Danny, but it's a romantic notion. Isn't the parity or the salary cap so that every team in that league, say the National Football League, is worth $2 billion, not 3 teams worth $2 billion and the rest of them worth nothing?
I think it's certainly, Matthew, your point is that it influences also the television coverage, because throughout the country there are games to watch which are interesting, and it raises the value of all the teams. You're correct.
That's all the time we have this week on Money in Sports. I'm Matthew Stevenson.
I'm Danny Warner.